Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats where I talk about gear, experiences with gear that I really use. And before we get started, a quick reminder, if you're not a contributor, please consider contributing to the show. You can go to supportkenneth.com and or hit the Patreon link. I just want to appeal to you, if you're finding these of value, if you can put a little bit back, that would be helpful to keep the shows going. It's been a tough year as a freelancer. So today's camera is the mighty Nikon F, which I love this camera. It's a little bit beat up. So I put a beat up 24 millimeter f2.8 on it. If you can see it's a little bit worn. It's definitely like, I'm not sure if you call that brass or just worn, but it works. It's a smooth 24-2.8, and it's got, the little catch is catching me, it's got a pop-up waist level viewfinder. So I can work with it at waist level. This is great for me when I'm walking down the Pearl Street Mall, which is an outdoor walk mall in Boulder, or the 16th Street Mall in Denver. I find as soon as you look down into the camera, people don't think you're shooting pictures. You can shoot all day long as you're not looking at them. They think you're fiddling with something in your hands, but they have no idea you could possibly be taking their picture. Now, some people say that the waist level viewfinder is too small when it gets to be used on the 35 millimeter camera, as opposed to like a Rolleiflex, which gives you a 6x6. So it's a pretty large ground glass to look at. And I agree. If you try to do this with any lens that's not wide, I think you need to use a little magnifier then and fine tune your focus. But for a walk around camera with a 24 millimeter lens, wide angle, I can focus this at 10 feet, 12 feet, and everything from 4 feet to infinity will be in focus if I'm shooting outside at f8. And it's literally, it's a point and shoot at that point. And I can walk around and just watch for compositions. And I like that. I like the simplicity of, for one thing, I like the fact it's a smaller profile. The Nikon F with the photomic head was a very large viewfinder to create the SLR. And for the metering, a friend of mine had a box of old camera parts he picked up somewhere, and this finder was in it. And it's the finder for the Nikon F. So I didn't have to go out and buy it. I just had to accept his gift and ended up with, oh, I know exactly what camera I'll put that on. The Nikon F is a heavy beast of a camera. This is a slightly smaller profile beast, but it's really stealth for shooting waist level when you're out and about shooting in the street. And if you ever find gear that's a little bit worn, that's certainly worn, it doesn't matter. If the viewfinder is clear, just doesn't even have a viewfinder, if the lens is clear, if it makes photographs, that's what I'm after. I'm looking to make pictures. I'm not looking for it to be a showpiece. In fact, I like things that look a little worn. I don't like that they're fake worn by, like, I don't know if you know some Fender guitars, they'll fake worn their guitars and their amplifiers, or Leica will sandpaper the edges to make it look brass like you're a heavy war photographer. I don't really like that. But real cameras that I use that either come somewhat worked or have been brassed up a little bit by me, I like that. That tells me I'm using that camera and I'm using that camera well. So that's the Nikon F waist level finder. They also make a waist level finder for the F2 and the F3. If you happen to come across one of those, that's a good way to have an alternative, because the F series allows you to interchange the finders, and that allows you to make the choice. Do I want to shoot looking through the lens at people or down at waist level and just sort of watching the scene unfold? I like this one for the waist level. It makes it a treat. And I'll use the F2 with a viewfinder when I want to shoot with a viewfinder now. All right, that's today's photography talk, the Nikon F, the waist level finder. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the section below. And if you can support, please hit that Patreon link. And I'll be back next week and we'll talk photography. As always, here's the good light.